Reverence in the Quran, a deep understanding of the relationship between humans and their Lord. Reverence, Khashyah, is a profound Islamic concept that transcends simple fear. It is a form of heartfelt unease, surrounded by hope and love for God. It represents a state of emotional engagement where one is concerned about going against the will of God, while at the same time seeking His mercy. Reverence carries within it a rational concern for what the future holds. But it is neither obsession nor irrational doubt. Rather, it stems from a hope to achieve good. Thus, reverence manifests in the pious in all matters relating to their relationship with God, whether in their actions or intentions, as they seek to earn His pleasure and avoid His wrath. Reverence and knowledge, a strong bond. One of the fundamental conditions for achieving reverence is knowledge. Reverence does not come to the ignorant, as the Quran confirms in the verse. Only those fear Allah from among His servants who have knowledge. Fatir 28. Here, it is evident that the most devout scholars are those who have the most reverence for God, because they are the ones who understand His greatness and majesty. However, this does not mean that every scholar automatically possesses reverence. Reverence requires knowledge, for the ignorant do not truly know God to fear Him. Therefore, if we seek to attain true reverence for God, we must strive to become devout scholars, not those who pursue knowledge solely for worldly gain. This connection between reverence and knowledge is a reflection of the deep understanding of the relationship between humans and their Lord. The knowledge here is not limited to religious teachings, but also extends to the reasoning and innate nature, fitra, that God has instilled in all people. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, said, "O Allah, make me fear you as though I see you." Imam Ali, peace be upon him, said, "Fear of God's punishment is the hallmark of the pious." In his will to his son, Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, Imam Ali advised, "I urge you to fear God, both in secret and in public." This illustrates that reverence is displayed both openly and secretly by the knowledgeable and pious believer who truly understands religion. This deep understanding drives the believer to fear God in all states, whether in public or in private. Reverence and tears, pathways to mercy and salvation. Reverence for God is often accompanied by tears, as the human soul reacts to its awareness of God's greatness and the dread of His punishment. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his family, said, "No servant weeps out of fear of God, except that God will give him a drink from the nectar of His mercy. And whoever weeps out of fear of God will be gathered with the prophets, the truthful, the martyrs, and the righteous, and what excellent companions they are." This saying emphasizes the importance of genuine tears, born from sincere knowledge of God, as opposed to tears shed out of hypocrisy or to deceive others. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, also stated, "Tears from fear of God are a means of salvation from the fire." These tears stem from a heartfelt reverence and the submission of one's body to that awareness, not mere emotional tears devoid of understanding. When a person reaches complete inner peace with their beliefs, the body naturally follows with acts of reverence to God. These narrations highlight the importance of reverence in a believer's life. It is not just an internal feeling, but a means of spiritual elevation and a safeguard against punishment. Reverence in the Quran. From the Quranic verses, it is clear that reverence is a state of precision and spiritual awe that differs from ordinary fear. God says, "The reminder will be received by he who fears God," Al-Allah 10, indicating that reverence drives a person to remember and reflect on God's commands. He also says, "And those who join that which Allah has ordered to be joined and fear their Lord and dread the terrible reckoning," Ar-Ra'd 21, illustrating that reverence for God is linked to the fear of judgment and punishment. The difference between reverence and fear. Although some commentators may view reverence and fear as the same, there is a subtle distinction between them. Reverence, as described, involves hope and love alongside awe, whereas fear might simply be an overwhelming sense of dread for something specific, without hope for good. For this reason, reverence is considered a higher and more refined state than mere fear. Reverence for God is a feeling that blends love, awe, and hope. It urges the believer to act with caution in all matters concerning their relationship with God, relying on knowledge and deep understanding of his commands and prohibitions. Reverence goes beyond simple fear, becoming a spiritual state that elevates the believer to higher ranks with God, leading them to always seek good, hope for God's mercy, and avoid his punishment. You've been with the Sacred Narratives Hub by Mansoura Shoberi.